Lift up. Good morning. Today's power scripture comes from Genesis 13:14. The New International Version states, "The Lord said to Abram after Lot had left him, 'Lift up now your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward.'" Things had gotten a bit sticky and touchy between the servants of Abram and the servants of Lot because they were having clashes over grazing land for their flocks and herds. Abram gave Lot the first choice of which area he would select, and of course, he chose the prime, well-irrigated land of the Jordan Valley. As soon as Lot left, God spoke to Abram and reiterated his promise. He told Abram to lift up his eyes and to look in all directions. God would bless him mightily. We can take a few lessons from this scripture. First of all, let me point out that it states that when Lot left, then God spoke to Abram again. Earlier in chapter 12, we see God visiting Abram and telling him to leave his home and countrymen and to go to a land where God would direct him. He was instructed to separate himself from his family and follow God's command. Well, in comes Lot, Abram's nephew, throwing a monkey wrench into the operation. So we see from the very beginning that there is a fly in the ointment. Who do you have tagging alongside you that might be hindering your progress? They are familiar, they are loved, they mean you no harm, but their very presence might be slowing God's promise for you to a standstill. Reevaluate your purpose in life and the promises and instructions given to you by God. Do they include any special clauses that need to be adhered to specifically? Be careful to follow God's rules, because God follows his own rules even if we don't. If God told you to attend a certain school or work at a certain job or avoid a certain activity and you alter your assignment, your blessings may be hindered. Secondly, God told Abram to lift up his eyes and see his future. Sure, we must live in this world and be in this moment, but God gives us the authority to look beyond our circumstances and see the hope of our future. We need to stop focusing on where we are at ground level and peer into the starlight. We must look above the storms and see the calm of the heavens and forget about the mischief, mayhem, and mockery of everyday life. What we see at ground level can deceive us into believing that there is nothing greater. Don't worry about taxes or bankruptcies or unplanned pregnancies or medical reports. These are all lower level concerns. Think on the lovely things, the promises of God, the things of a higher calling. When we focus on these, the other stuff just seems to fall into place. Lastly, Abram was told to look in all directions. We sometimes are so focused on pinpointing one specific way of doing something that we get pigeonholed into believing that our blessings are only going to come through one particular avenue. There are some who think that the only way to do anything is by working hard, very long, very unrelenting hours. And by this, they may be successful in caring for themselves and their families. God's grace could provide a new concept or idea that could make them a millionaire overnight if they looked up long enough to see it. Some might believe that it is only through education or through marriage that they will be able to achieve their dreams and desires. God's plans may be totally different and coming from a totally different direction. So look up, look around. Great things are on the horizon. Every day is a good day. It is up to us to make it a power-packed great day. Be blessed. Lift up. Dr. JoAnn.